Hello and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. I'm Jerry and this time we delve into the world of black death metal. This is Rituals of the Dead Hand, and before we unbox it, this is just without the jewel case that is, let's take a quick look at the band's Metal Archive site for basic background information. Now this band was founded already in 2016 and ever since 2018 and onward the band has put out 3 albums with 3 years between those albums. And what started here as a black doom metal, this is the genre that is still defining the page here with Blood Oath, the debut album which I got to review back in the days, has changed into something that I would call death and black metal, or just death black for the sake of it. And this applies both to the latest album here, the Wretched and the While, as well as with Hoof and Horn, which I also got to review 3 years earlier. So we have this Belgian band with a lineup that is here said to be true since 2016 and onwards. Well, with the bassist Bella from 2019. He was here mentioned as the past member, so sometimes you have to take these Metal Archives updates with a little bit of salt in the mix. But here we have the Wretched and the While, something that came out already in late January this year with 40 minutes and 6 songs. Now let's take a quick look at the album in physical copy. Here we have rather, say, ominous creature with skull-shaped face of sorts, and I guess we would call, like I said, long hair with some symbols underneath. Now already you're pretty much expecting some kind of extreme metal, I know, and you're probably thinking more on the black metal side of things, but that's half the truth here. On the other side of the booklet we will see the liner notes, we will see the band photo, and then you get the not so black metallic vibe, maybe just more extreme metal vibe to it. And inside of course you have lyrics with song names, pretty nice layout if you ask me, but nothing fancy as such. So back to the basics, very simplistic design, and some Belgium here mentioned, probably an interesting take, and once again some occult symbols, not just 1 but 3 to kind of make the point across. So now you're asking, so what is Rituals of the Dead Hand all about, and what the hell are these Rituals of the Dead Hand? Well, the answer might depend on various sources depending where you come from, and I am very close to getting roasty here, but decided not to. Now, compared to the previous albums, I would say yes, the first album is still, in my opinion, the most defining for the acts. Not that two these later albums are bad either. I would just say what the band lost with the change, the transition from the black doom to more like death black is something like too bad, but at least the quality didn't go down at least much. The thing here is, from the death metal side of things, you will hear the kind of a classic, really heavy production, and that alone is something like, yeah, I can totally bang my head to it. You can already feel like it's heavy and it's kind of old school and all that stuff. Now, from the black metal side of things, you obviously get that sinister feeling, the kind of a ominous thing going on, and the darkness present. So it's like, yeah, 50-50. And that goes also with the vocal style, which is not too typical, but then again, nothing out of ordinary in so many ways. Let me try to describe it to you so you get the point. So it's not really growly vocal in the same sense that you would expect from a lot of death metal bands. It's not really the raspy, screamy vocals what you would get from a lot of black metal bands. But somewhere in the middle, there's certain kind of a grunting in the vocal style, which is more like it's nodding towards, death metal crawling, but then again it's like a little bit holding back, like not going really deep, but more just like grunting commands, in a way that it kind of reminds me of some, say, death thrash or just thrash metal vocals without getting into the cleaner parts. And as such it feels like a compromise, but not a bad one, actually very, very fitting, considering that the style is actually a combination, a fusion of things, if you will. And as such, I think it serves the purpose. It's nodding towards 2 different directions, but it's not really mooning none of the directions here, or the styles, genres, whatever you want to define. Now, the good sides on this album is that I think the production is pretty good and I like the dark feeling. So far, so good. And some of the riffs are really, really nice. But when it comes to the actual memorability of the album, you could call it catchiness or whatever, then it's kind of like not really happening. And I would partially blame it on the longer side of things here. I mean, when you have songs, say, 7 to 9 minutes, yeah, you hardly get the kind of a repetition what you would get with, say, more classic, more compact songwriting, whether we're talking about black metal, death metal, thrash metal, etc. And that's, I think, part of the lack of charm here. So while you get the sinister feeling check and heavy guitars check and the fitting vocals check, you're like, okay, the songwriting must be really good. And unfortunately, it's not that good. Don't get me wrong, this is an easy album to enjoy. But when it comes to, like me figuring out which songs I actually like the best, I'm like, none of it really sticks. None of it really drills to my brain like, this is a banger. And same goes for a lot of these individual riffs. Surely, if I just focus on certain riffs, I'm able to say, yeah, actually this riff is a lot better than the ones before this one or the ones after that one. But they're so far and few between that you really don't want to make a big fuss out of them. So don't get me wrong, this is pretty good of an album. Not a bad one or mediocre one by no means. But to compare this to really great ones, I don't think this goes with a cigar. But obviously your experience might be different from mine, mileage may vary and all that stuff. Now if I got to interest for you to check this out, and I think you should if you're into death and black metal to begin with, here you have links provided in the description box. This is the Wretched and the Wild by Ritual of the Dead Hand, released by Immortal Frost Productions. So if you are into it, go and buy it. The physical copy is obviously available. I mean, why else would I have it? And the links should give you a little bit of indication what the music is like. Now, off you go and enjoy it, and if not, well, at least you know a little bit more. Bye bye.